Hi, this is Dr. Darwin, the new dentist coach, with another edition of Ask Dr. Darwin on the New Dentist Podcast Show, where you ask questions about getting into dental school, surviving dental school, getting into residency, or even questions like we have tonight from all across the country, all across the world about coming to the U.S. and practicing dentistry. Be sure to check my YouTube page, Dr. Darwin Speaks, and turn on the notifications when you subscribe so that you make sure that you get the recordings and get the new videos that I post every week on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I have a lot of content that's been helping a lot of people, not only in the U.S., but internationally as well, which leads me to tonight's or today's guest, all the way from Kuwait. Yes, I did say Kuwait, as in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
As in the middle of the earth, the middle of the planet here. Dr. George,
Yes.
who's joining us and has a couple questions. So, man, welcome. I'm so glad that we're able to connect. I know it's pretty early in the morning there. What time is it?
It's 4 a.m. in the morning, sir.
4 a.m. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been waiting for you, sir.
Uh-oh, you've been waiting for me. Well, good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, the first thing, sir, I want to really tell you is want to congratulate on what you're actually doing for us. It's amazing. I got to see you on a YouTube channel, and you're trying to get people's dreams come true, and that's a big thing. That is definitely a big thing, sir. I wasn't pretty sure that you would actually reply to my email. It was just a coincidence that I got it back on. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an orthodontist. Okay, I'm from India. I was born in Kuwait. I did my undergrad and postgrad back at home in India. At 5 years undergrad programs, and 3 years postgrad programs. So it was a total of 8-year programs back at home in India.
Right.
I came back. I finished I did my master's in orthodontics and dentofacial orthopedics. All right. So once I finished my college, I came all the way back to Kuwait to meet my parents. I was born and brought up here. When I came back, I was being, offered a job, but, we had to go through the licensing exams and stuff. So I came over, I gave my exams. Positively, I cleared that, and I'm into practicing orthodontics here in Kuwait. I've been here since 4 years now.
Okay.
I've been practicing here. Yeah, it's been 4 years right now, sir. So, as time went by, I've been into, getting into the specialties. It's been my dream. I'm so much into love with orthodontics and doing dentofacial orthopedics here. As time's going by, 4 years of, wires and brackets and stuff, I was trying to just talk to myself. I mean, I kind of miss dating myself or maybe getting to the next level, sir. So I was thinking, sir, was there any possibility of coming to the United States to do a specialty program directly without doing a DDS? So, what makes me think in those lines was just because, sir, as we get into our master's program, especially in orthodontics in India, we lose a lot of touch with general practice. We get into hardcore orthodontics, and 3 years ain't enough for orthodontics. And, you still keep learning more and more and more. So my sister is in Atlanta. She's been there since 3 years. She finished her part 1 and she's into her part 2 now. So she's been asking, bro, why don't you get back here? Why don't you get to the United States, have a ball of a life back in the US and stuff like that. But, the practice of getting into national boards part 1 and then doing a DDS for another 2 years. I've almost spent like 9 years of my life, into studies. But studying is not the problem that I face right now. So the thing is, I don't know how much of general practice I can get back to in spite of doing my specialty in my orthodontics. So my question was really straight and simple, sir. My point was, sir, is there any way I can get into the United States to do my specialty directly without doing a DDS?
So good question.
What are the pros? So what are the pros and cons for it? Because I have got a little bit of information from my sister.
Right.
They say that you can practice it in only a couple of states. Is that advantages? Is that disadvantages? I've recently, last week, I've sent my papers for EC evaluation. I'm waiting for the report. I'll be giving my part 1 and part 2 in a year's time, and I'm going to finish that off.
Right. So you asked about the pros and cons, and is there a way for you to get here directly without having to go back to dental school in the U.S.? Right?
Yeah, if I can do my MS in orthodontics, directly specialty, I don't mind studying for another 2 years for my specialty. But doing a DDS again, wanting to do class 1 complex amalgam restorations and stuff like that, I suck at it. I don't know. Maybe if there's no other way, I'll have to get back to that.
Right. Well, unfortunately, the way the U.S. System is set up, for you to become a specialist or do specialist training here, lots of times they will only take students that have graduated from an accredited United States U.S. program. So unless you're able to more specifically find a program that trains international dentists exclusively, then you won't be able to do it.
All right.
So the now the advantage of doing the route of coming to the U.S., going to dental school for maybe 2 years. There are some programs that now you can just do 2 years, get trained as an international dentist. You have to take your boards. You have to take national dental boards, part 1 and part 2, very similar to what your sister's taking right now as a requirement for graduation in most of the schools. And then you can apply to ortho. All right, but you have to do those 2 years in most of the schools that have an international program. There's a couple of them: University of Pennsylvania, UCLA, and there's probably a couple other ones that I just can't think of off the top of my mind.
There's one. Is there one in Rochester too, sir? I think I heard you say that in a previous video.
Yes, Rochester University, Rochester, and Eastman Kodak in upstate New York. It's like a 2-year advanced general education program. But even that has some limitations in the sense that even if you do get your degree, there are some limitations with getting it from that particular program. But you'll still be able to apply to ortho. They do have an ortho program, I think, at Rochester, as do some other, a lot of different other programs throughout the country. Now, I will say to you that this is where you have to do some fact finding. You have to go onto the websites of all the different ortho programs to see if they have some provisional ways for provisional training of residents. I know specifically through Case Western University, through their endo program, they have a collaboration and an agreement with I think the University of Egypt or the University of Saudi Arabia, their dental programs there, where they have maybe 1 or 2 or 3 spots every year available for international dentists that are training in that specialty in the U.S. But here's the disadvantage. Once you come to that program and you train for 2 years or 3 years, you can't stay in the U.S. You have to go back to your country. Or if you do stay in the U.S., depending on how you get here as far as educational visa, become a citizen, that whole process, or just staying here for educational wise, you may be able to stay here, but you won't be able to practice and get a license in the U.S. Most dental boards, each state is different. So depending on which state that you're applying to stay here in the U.S. and practice in will dictate what the requirements are. And most of the states will require that you are a graduate of an accredited U.S. dental program.
All right, I get that, sir.
Yep. So there is a dental school in Georgia, where your sister is at. Is she in dental school here, or is she a dentist?
No, not at the moment. She has to give her part 2. She just cleared her part 1. She's all set to give her part 2 pretty soon. But she's into Atlanta. She's in Alpharetta, Georgia. She helps. She goes into. She's pretty close by a clinic, so she goes and just watches over and just see over another dentist practicing and stuff like that. But in the meantime, spends the time in the library practice. I mean, with the academy. So I just have one question. Sorry to interrupt. What is the difference? So what I get from you is either ways I'll have to do the 2-year program. Might as well it is either DDS or the advanced standing program. Just have one question. So how is the DDS program different from advanced standing? Is one easier than the other to get through an admission, or post that, or what would you suggest? I mean, DDS is a better option to do than the advanced program, because either ways I think I need to spend 2 years before I do an MS, right?
Well, either or, the 2 years is a minimum.
Okay.
Right? The 2 years is a minimum, depending on the school the U.S. school. Schools like I mentioned, UCLA, UPenn.
Okay.
A buddy of mine just mentioned here on Facebook Live, Nova Southeastern, which is in Florida. And again, there's a couple other schools that are like that. But the minimum is you're going to have to do 2 years of training in the U.S.
All right.
to say that you've been accredited. So,
So how are these two?
The advantage is the time frame. The disadvantage is there's not a lot of schools. There aren't as many international training programs or for advanced standing programs in the U.S. as there are four-year dental schools.
Okay, all right.
You see what I mean? So of the 68 dental schools that are 4 years, maybe less than 10% of them, or maybe about 10% of them, may have an advanced standing / 2-year DDS program for international students.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
So that's the advantage if time is an issue, which it sounds like it is for you. You just don't want to have to belabor yourself for 4 years if you can do it in 2 years. So that's what you got to do. You got to find those programs. I gave you 3, and you have to pursue it that way.
I get it, sir.
Yep.
And then try for an MS post the 2 years, right? So the MS is usually 2 or 3 years in the United States.
It depends on the program. For ortho, there's some programs like Howard University, it's 2 years. Other programs in New York or throughout the country, it could be 3 years. Just depends on the program. So again, even for your specialty training in orthodontist, you're looking at 2 or 3 years, depending on the program. One of the things that I would recommend to you, if you can get here, is you need to go to the annual orthodontic conference. That's here every year in the U.S. You need to go to that meeting, because at that meeting, and I tell applicants this all the time, at that meeting, you're going to be able to interface and talk to schools that are there that have their alumni receptions. At their alumni receptions for those schools that have ortho programs, they will have program directors there. They will have current ortho residents that are there, and they'll have those alums that have graduated. That's a great opportunity for you to network, meet some people, talk more, and be real strategic in finding out your second move, which is once you've done a 2-year program, programs that you can now apply to for ortho.
All right, sir. So the final bottom line I want to just ask you was the information that I have that when you clear national boards part 1, part 2, and ADAT, you can directly afford to get yourself into MS Ortho is wrong.
Well,
right?
Yes, for the most part. There are some programs that do not take the ADAT. Or don't require, I should say, they don't require the ADAT. There are some ortho programs that require the GRE. instead of
Okay.
the ADAT. The ADAT's been out for 2 or 3 years now, and that's just a new test that's been used in the US.
Mm.
But there are some programs that it's optional. In the past, some programs have used the GRE. Again, another reason why you have to investigate all those other programs in the US to see what their admission requirements are as far as
Okay.
testing.
Oh, I get that. I get that right now.
Yep.
So, like after talking to you, get on point. A few like I need to spend another 2 years. Better be ready to get ready for another 2 years of a ride before I get into any kind of specialty into orthodontics. So
Yes.
that makes it clear
Yep.
right now.
Yep. Yep. So as much as you hate doing some of those general dentistry competencies and stuff, hey man, that's the price you pay to get here. But once you do it, you're done.
Yeah, I get it. So
You've done it before, so you can do it again. It's just your mind is playing tricks on you and doesn't want you to do it again.
sir, my grades were pretty decent actually. It was good. I was a university level topper back at home in India in periodontics, and I have my academics were pretty decent. But the fact that when you get into orthodontics and you get into hardcore orthodontics, you leave everything else,
Yeah,
and you step down and you keep researching and you get better and better, and you still keep learning. After 4 years, orthodontics and dentofacial orthopedics is not over for me. You
right.
get back and you finish and you detail every case better than your old case and stuff like this.
That's
And
right.
then the mix of all this, and to get back into general dentistry, yeah, like how you said, maybe it's only a mental block. I'm just going to get over that, and that's the price I might pay for coming to the United States. So I'll brace myself for that.
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's a
Yeah.
hurdle, but you can jump over it.
Yeah, all right, sir. Oh, yeah, that makes my so I look in those lines right now. So I have some time. I'm 32, sir, right now. I'm married. I have a baby. So spending more time studying is something practically. I don't know how much that's going to fit in. I'll work on those lines. Anyways, I'm giving my part one and part two, sir, and I will make it. I
You
will
will.
make it very soon.
You will. Well, hey, keep me posted with your progress and your successes and your wins and even your struggles. If I could be of any assistance, but I think that's going to be the best strategy for you. And if you can get over here to visit your sister and kind of time it with going to the ortho conference for the U.S. I'm telling you, I think it'll be very, very worthwhile. They may even have a registration
Yeah.
fee for international dentists or international orthodontists. So I would get on the website
No.
and just focus on that as well, because going to that meeting, you'll get a chance to see. I mean, you'll get a chance to learn what orthodontists here in the U.S. are doing, right? The most novel approaches of doing,
Yeah.
and the bonus is
Yes.
you're going to get a chance to network with the schools that are producing the orthodontists here in the U.S., and you can start finding out more information
Direct.
and doing that networking, which is so very
Yeah.
key, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I was actually supposed to be in the United States in a couple of weeks, but due to some personal issues, I was not able to do that. So I'm going to do that for next year, maybe before spring. So
Yes,
I will try to line up my trip along with a meet, so that I can get into further
yes.
information. So when I
Awesome.
get to
So
personally
has
meet
this
them.
been helpful?
This is amazing, sir, and you're doing. I just like how I
I
told you,
think I
you're
lost.
doing a great job.
Oh, there you go. I got you now. What did you say? I'm sorry. All I heard was
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
yes.
All right. I was just saying that, sir. In spite of all the pain that you do, that you take your time to actually help people like us to make our dreams come true. Let me tell you, big thanks and congratulations to you. I got a chance to meet you on YouTube, and you were doing a great job. For people across the globe, you're trying to bridge them to. There are a lot of questions we all have. We're all as aspiring to get to the United States to study there, useful, to the society and stuff. A lot of questions, a lot of laws, a lot of rules keep changing every year.
Yeah.
So, when we have somebody like you, very rarely, taking up and stepping up for us. So you're doing a great job. Hats off to you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Hey,
much.
hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. It's good to know it's been helpful. Hey, before we finish up, I just have one question for you. Why the US? Why do you want to come to the US? Why do you think people are wanting to come here to practice and make that change?
Well, coming to the United States, studying in the United States is a dream, actually. That's first thing. The standards of education is the priormost thing that I look at, for a good future. Anywhere out in the world, when you compare yourself to any countries back, the kind of social openings that you have in the United States and the kind of standard of living is definitely better. But priormost, I would keep it the level of education. Is much more graded back at the United States, and that's one reason why I feel like I need to upgrade myself. And if that requires to do general practice, I think I'm ready for it.
Good, man. That's good to hear, man. Well, I'm so glad we were able to connect, even despite the time differences. But it's
No, that's okay. I really was determined to actually meet you. I kept an alarm at 3 a.m. Just told my wife to just nug me up off the bed just in case I sleep off. I have an appointment. I want to be able to make it on time.
That's
So,
right.
sir, yes, sir. So that's my first step, and I will keep you updated, sir. And I would like to have more conversation with you as I go on forward.
Sounds great, man. Well, best of luck to you. Keep in contact with me. Let me know how your progress is going. I'm glad this has helped you. And if you guys are listening, if this has helped you, or if you know that this is something that can help somebody else, please send them to my website, but also send them to my email address, NewDentistCoach@gmail.com. And if they have a question or just forward them there so I can help them as well. Hey, student doctor, Dr. George, orthodontist of Kuwait. Hey, man, thanks so much for your time. I'm glad we were able to connect. And
Thank you so much, sir. I would love to personally meet you someday. All right.
Yes, well, come visit. Come visit.
Definitely, we will. We will meet up.
Okay, sounds good, man. Take care and good luck.
Thank you. God bless you and your family.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.